Hey there, it's Gypsy, and I have Goo joining me today. Say hi to the people. We're going to be talking about the Wheel of Fortune, which is number 10 in the tarot. I'm just kidding. I knew it was 10. This actually was an interesting card. As you guys know, I've been using Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Wisdom for this entire series. But this time I had to use another book in association with it because I had some unanswered questions that were not addressed in 78 Degrees of Wisdom. So I went digging in my little library and I found another book that I have yet to read in its entirety. It looks like I started it. But this is actually The Tarot, History, Symbolism, and Divination by Robert M. Place. My book was bought used, so his name is missing on the cover. But it's Place, P-L-A-C-E. And he talks about some stuff that I'm going to address. As usual, I have a whole lot of cards here that I'm going to be talking about. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I actually have to make a quick observation about the scorecard. Have you seen this? I gave 6 possible points based on what came out of the Rider-Waite deck. There was only one card that got 6 points, and then the next one got 4. And then the rest of them are like 2.5 and less. I mean, like nobody had all of the symbolism that the Rider-Waite deck had. To start things off, here is the Rider-Waite card. And this is from my new Pamela Coleman Smith deck because I love it. I have to bring attention to that. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot going on. Actually, Arthur Waite had a lot of stuff added to this card that was not in there before. So, do you know what the main points are? Do you want to talk about them since you haven't said anything yet? No? 4 quarters, 4 creatures. These are basically the fixed signs of Babylonian astrology. So here we see Aquarius, Scorpio, we have Leo, and then we have Taurus down here at the bottom. These also were considered by the Christians as the guardians of heaven. They also saw them as the 4 evangelists, is something else that Rachel Pollack mentions in her book. They also represent the 4 basic elements, which also correlate to the 4 suits of tarot. So, obviously right here we have Scorpio, which represents fire, which represents wands. And then we have Aquarius, which represents water, which is also connected to cups. We have Taurus down here, which is connected to air, also swords. And then we have the Griffin, which is connected to earth, which is connected to the pop quiz. Earth. Not wands. Not swords. Not cups.
Oh, pentacles.
Pentacles.
I know that one.
How do you say pentacles with no upper lip?
Pentacles.
Okay. Alrighty. So those are those symbols. Next we have 3 more creatures that we see on the wheel itself. These are Egyptian. Would you quit? You're very distracting back there. I'm trying to do something. We have the 3 Egyptian creatures that represent the life cycle. The snake over here represents Set, who was a representation of evil and death, which kind of reminds me of, think of Christianity. Oh. Snakes, evil, death. The devil! Satan! The next one is this jackal, jackal-headed guy down here. That is Anubis, and he is the guide to the dead souls. He leads them to the other side. So Set kills them, Anubis takes them over to the other side, and then we have the Sphinx up here at the top, which represents Horus, which is the god of resurrection. So we have the full cycle of life here, life, death, and rebirth. Boom, 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 all around. Then we go in a little farther, and we see the letters T, O, R, A. Or you can look at it as T, A, R, O. Or you can look at it as A, T, O, R. Or you can look at it as R, O, T, A. You could kind of just start anywhere and just keep going. A fella called Paul Foster Case according to Rachel's book, she references his work, put together a sentence, Rota Taro Orat Torah Ator, which translates to, the wheel of Tarot speaks the law of Hathor. Hathor was connected, she was the goddess of death. And they, basically the guys got together and found extreme symbolism just in these 4 letters. And in rearranging those letters, came up with a sentence that basically, encapsulates the law of Hathor, which was everything dies, everything comes back to life. Life is on a constant cycle, which is what the wheel represents. It's always turning, it's always turning. Another thing that is in here is these Hebrew letters. In between the Roman letters, do you know what those stand for, Goo?
No.
You didn't study at all. Those are actually Hebrew letters, and they stand for the 4 letters in the name of God, which apparently cannot be pronounced. They are Yod, which is the little tilde thing here. This is Yod. This is He. This is Vav. And then we got He over here again. So you put those 4 letters together and yeah. And the last thing is we have these tiny little symbols right in here. And these are actually alchemal symbols from alchemy. They represent Mercury, which is this little guy here on top, Mercury. And then we have sulfur, which is the little triangle here. And then down at the bottom, we have water. And then the circle here is salt. And those 4 things represent the alchemical goal of line 2, which is transformation. So this card is all about transformation. Lots of symbolism got packed into that. Arthur Waite took this card to like a whole new level, because before that it had sort of the same meaning but not near as much of the esoteric symbolism. So we're going to start out by showing you guys some of the older cards, and this is why I had to go and look in this other book, because this stumped me. I like to start out with the Visconti Tarot. So here we see here. What do you like and don't like about this card, Goo?
I like the shiny.
She likes the shiny. Alright.
I don't like the person in the middle of the wheel, too.
The person in the middle of the wheel bothers her, and she asked me about that. She's like, who is that in the middle? And Rachel Pollack does discuss this briefly in her book. That is Lady Fortuna, who is part of the, if I'm not mistaken, the King Arthur stories. She is also, correlated with basically the death of the king. And you see here, there's an old man here that's being crushed by the wheel. And then we have this guy up here on top. Now, I thought this was really interesting because one thing that I noticed immediately was that this guy on top has ears. And I'm like, why does this person on top have donkey ears? And we see one person on one side that's all cool and going up and down, and the other person over here is like, crap, I'm falling. And I was trying to figure out what that meant. Like I said, I did know that it was Lady Fortuna. However, when I started to read about this card in Mr. Place's book, I realized that this is Lady Fortuna. This represents death. These guys represent the 3 fates. And so you see that the wheel is moving like this. This guy has donkey ears on because he's a fool. He is an idiot. The joke's on him, because while he may be sitting on top right now and he's got his fancy little stuff and he's looking chill, he has this to look forward to. Nobody stays on top. It doesn't matter how rich, how powerful, how young, how pretty. You're going to fall off that wheel at some point. Your day will come. And so that is what that's talking about. And in this particular card, during the Renaissance era, the tales of King Arthur and the Christian symbolism was a big deal. And Lady Fortuna was an integral part of that process. She's the one that spun the wheel and got things going. However, during around the same time, we see here, this deck, the Minchiati, was not so influenced. Do you like this one better?
There's no scary lady?
Yeah,
like it, but there's something else some questions about once we get to some of the cards.
Okay. So this one blatantly has a donkey. We don't have a, cherubian little child with donkey ears that's cute yet still a fool. This one's straight up an ass. We've got this this little religious symbol, this globus. I can't ever remember what it's called anymore. I remember I said it in one video. But this thing here, and then the scepter, we see that in the Hierophant card. We see that in, I believe, the Emperor card and the Empress card. I'm not sure in this deck. We see it in several cards in this deck. So that is very clearly a reference to, someone who is in charge. Maybe not necessarily a religious leader, but someone who's large and in charge. That's the jerk that's on top of the wheel. And his moment is coming because you see this here. I think another thing that he pointed out in his book was that these represent past, present, and future. And it's seen even more so, actually, in the Tarot of Marseille.
Yeah, except for it goes the opposite way.
It's going the opposite way, but we see the three fates, and these are actually represented as monkeys.
And, by the way, Mom, as you've not noticed, the green is on the left side and then on the right side. What's up with that?
Oh, and then the green's back. There's always someone with the green on.
Yeah, except for the person with the green and the person with the red, they switch up. Like the person, it may be on the right side, but they're going upside down.
So, do y'all see the green? We have one person on each one that's got green on. And the person on top has blue. I guess that's correlated with, like, royalty. Cool observation on the color there, Goo.
Yeah, and by the way, on these, not that one. These two. These two. The reds are on the different sides, but they're still going upside down.
They're switched, but the reds are upside down. Maybe that signifies the process of dying. I don't know. But on the Marseille, we have lost Lady Fortuna and we have lost Death. So it gradually gets to be less and less. Here we've got the whole gang. The gang's all here, all 5 of them. And then here, Fortuna's taking a hike and she's not there anymore. And then by the time we get to 1750, we don't even have to deal with Death anymore. Death is gone. It's just 3 monkeys on a wheel spinning round and round. You spin me right round, baby, right round like a record. Right round, round, round. But yes, these are 3 monkeys, also signifying, kind of a foolishness, a playfulness, lack of taking things seriously, just rolling with the flow. That's the monkeys, rolling with the flow. And this one's stupid because he thinks he's all bad with his crown on and he don't even know because he's about to fall. Just like this guy right here. He is on his way over. Alright, so those are the old cards. Guess who got the highest score? No way! No way! Illuminati Tarot. I'm getting tired of saying this first every single time. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I love this deck. I love you, Eric Dunn. This is the Illuminati Tarot. I'm going to spend not a whole lot of time on it because you can very plainly see that this is just a gorgeous version of what already existed. So we have the 4 characters there on each side. We have the snake. We have Anubis. We have Horus. Though Horus looks very feminine here. I don't know what's going on, but Horus has boobs now. And then you have tarot, and then you have the Hebrew symbols. You have the alchemical symbols here a little bit further in. So everything's here. It's got everything. It is very Arthur-Waitey. No, it is not compared to the older cards, but as you can see, the older cards, I mean, this is the one I have that's closest to this. They don't look anything. I mean, he's really added a lot of stuff. So, that's the Illuminati. Next we had, with 4 points, was the Tarot of the Magical Forest, which again is one that usually scores pretty high. I didn't even ask you what your favorite was. Do you know?
I think I like this one.
Is that your favorite? Yeah, she likes that Illuminati Tarot. I think I have a couple of orders for Christmas presents this coming year. I think I'm going to be buying a couple of those decks for the family. So here we have the Tarot of the Hidden Forest. And once again, we have the cute little creatures. We didn't go so cute with the character here that's supposed to represent Anubis. Kind of creepy for this deck. I like it though. We have the snake, and then we have, of course, Horus up at the top. This one is missing the alchemical symbols. It does not have that in the wheel. We do have the Roman and Hebrew symbols in the middle, but not the alchemy symbols. And then What else was missing from this one? Oh, I just misscored it. It was supposed to get 5. I forgot to give it a point for having an actual wheel, because believe it or not, some of these wheel cards don't have a real wheel in them. I know, right? Figure that. I'll give you one guess which one doesn't have a wheel. It's the same deck that doesn't have anything that it says it has on the card. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so there's that one. Next we have, and this one was like next with 2.5 points. The next 3 cards only had 2.5 points. This is the Tarot of the Divine Legacy. And this one is another one of my favorite cards in this deck because he reuses his Fool. I love in this particular deck how we see the Fool pop up here and there in some certain cards. So here we have 4 versions of the Fool in the place of the creatures, both in the corners and on the wheel. They've gone away, and we now have 4 versions of the Fool as he is climbing around in different phases, likely of his own life, you know, in the wheel. We have the symbols. We do have the symbols of the elements of the suits, which is the swords. Then we have wands, and then we have pentacles, and then we have a cup here. So that's kind of neat. And then we also have there is symbolism here as far as the zodiac goes. If you look on the inside of the wheel there, and we also have the letters tarot, T-A-R-O here in the middle. But we lose the Hebrew letters. They're not there. So there are some similarities. It is true to the Wheel of Fortune as far as Rider-Waite Smith deck goes, but lost a couple things. Hi, card. Jump on out. Steampunk! I love steampunk. Steampunk, steampunk, steampunk. Do you like this one?
Yeah.
You want to give any commentary on it?
The only thing I didn't like was there's no animals.
Oh, yeah, there's no animals in this one. No figures of any sort. Well, this one didn't have any animals. There's no animals in that one. But there's little people. The Fool's in it. But I didn't ask you your opinion on that one, so maybe you would have said the same thing. Okay. Steampunk Tarot, like she mentioned, we don't have any creatures. We do have the symbols of alchemy. Those are here on the smaller wheel, and then we have the zodiac on the big outer wheel. And then we also have the symbols for the elements there, where we see those little triangles. And then we have the pentacle, of course, which represents all 4 elements as well as spirit. You know, I don't know why they wouldn't put tarot and, you know, like the Hebrew symbols and the Roman symbols on that 3rd wheel. Seems like they could have preserved that aspect, you know? But they didn't. It's not there. Barbara Moore and Allie Woods. Allie Woods didn't feel like putting them in there, so we didn't put them in there. Next, we have the Tarot of Vampires, and I like this wheel. I like it a lot.
I like the colors.
Yes, so this qualifies as one of your favorites? Yeah, I had a feeling. I love the roses. Even though there's not 12, I was kind of surprised because I was thinking, oh, the Zodiac. But no, it doesn't correlate with the Zodiac. This does have the 3 creatures on it that represent Set, Anubis, and Horus. So I like that they kept that in there. But we do not, and we do have a representation of the 4 elements, because if you look on each, like top, where am I going? Bottom, right, and left, they have different colors in them, which represents the 4 elements. So that's there. And then if you look in the middle, very, very tiny, we see the symbol for Jupiter, which looks like a little 4. So that is there. Obviously not representing the entire zodiac, but contemporary tarotists, this card is connected to Jupiter in the zodiac. So this is the Jupiter card. So there you have it. That is the Tarot of Vampires. Paulina Tarot. Do you like this one?
Yeah.
That's not a very enthusiastic, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, we have brought the 4 creatures out of the corners and just thrown them onto the wheel. And done away with the Egyptian versions of the cycle of life. We also, probably hard to tell on my crappity crap camera, but those zodiac symbols are there in between the spokes. But we do have, obviously, Aquarius is the mermaid, and then we have Scorpio is the eagle, and then down at the bottom we have the cat is Leo, and then Taurus is over there on the bottom. We do have a snake down here. We have 2 snakes intertwined. So, you know, that could represent that aspect of life and death. I'm going to let that work for that. We also have a dragonfly here, and if you're familiar with this deck, which I am, dragonfly is associated with transformation because, like butterflies, they start off as creepy little nasty bugs and they turn into beautiful flying creatures. So we have transformation there. Beautiful card. I love that deck. I think I've said that 157 times. Next, we have the Archeon Tarot. Very, I don't know, mysterious. This is a very mysterious wheel. There's not really a lot to it. You just see this wheel with all of these, like, secret symbols on it and looking like it was found in a tomb somewhere. I do like the peacock feathers. Those are a nice touch. Let's look at the Tarot of Dreams. Here we see the 4 again, which again is representative of Jupiter. And we have 4 symbols here. I don't know, I kind of wish it had more. I like having the creatures on it, but I have to say this is a gorgeous card. I really love the dolphins, and I love the little filigree, fancy, whatever you want to call it. I think it's beautiful, so I'm not going to dog on it. Next we have the Gilded Tarot. What do you think about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Ciro Marchetti. He did the one I just showed you, Tarot of Dreams. This is the other one. This is his first tarot deck. I like it. It's kind of steampunky looking, actually. It's very mechanical. It's got the symbols of the zodiac in the middle. And it does have a wheel. Yeah. It's pretty. It is pretty. But again, I kind of like to have... I want to see some monkeys falling off the wheel. I like the monkeys! Oh, this one's awesome. This is your favorite? You want to talk about it?
I like it because it's like a Joker. He's like kind of like a circus person.
Dun, 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 dun. I do that a lot with these. Okay, so what symbols do you see in it?
There's all the 4 animals because there's like the person on the top with the fool, and then there's the 2 like other creatures that I don't know what they are.
Well, you have the 2 birds here, so that's kind of like past and present, right? They're coming along. Well, past and future is on the sides because look, what's in their mouth?
A clock.
Time, little times. They're clocks, yes. So we see there, you know, they are holding the passage of time. That's the past and the future. And then here at the bottom, we have these octopus legs that are creepy and dark. And so we'll say that is related to death. Why not? Then we also see at the top, what's going on with the juggling balls?
Other moons.
The moon cycle. And then what about the hat? What's up with the hat?
Oh, it's the 4 seasons.
It shows the 4 seasons.
Or the 4...
Yeah, no, that's right. 4 seasons. So you definitely have, you know, a sense of this cycle, of this flow that I was talking about that I like to have. And if you look too, this is kind of like a stand. It's connected, and it's connected down here, which reminds me of the, you know, the Versailles Tarot, because it's on a stand. So that's kind of similar to that old card. Old school, keeping it real cool. Next we have Vertigo Tarot. Creeptastic, just like always. We have a wheel. However, I do have to say that this one does have something that I've been criticizing other ones for not having, and that is the fact that it has a representation of life and death, and it took me a little while to see it. But we see this chick here. I don't know, the chick looks dead too, but we're going to call it a symbol of life because everything on these cards looks old and taxidermied. But here we have the chick, and then over here on this side we have a snake coming down, which is a symbolism of death. So we have life and death on this wheel. And then I like the fact that you've got these eyes in the background, so it's like Fortuna's back. They've brought back Fortuna. Creepy. She's always watching. What is that? Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah.
Always watching. This is the Wildwood Tarot. Beautiful card, very earthy. I'm still trying to figure this deck out. Not my favorite interpretation of the wheel, but I get it. If I was using this deck and this card came up, I wouldn't be put out. It's one of those things where I just accept the fact that this is a hippie deck, and it's going to have some hippie cards, and this is a hippie card, and that's okay. Borderless Deviant Moon. like this card. What do you think about this one?
I like it.
You like it? Why do you like it?
Because it looks kind of like something that you use in art, like clay on the background.
Oh, yeah.
Like it.
Well, I like it because we have Fortuna back. This makes me think of Lady Fortune because she is controlling the wheel here. And this person here, this little stool, is like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Because basically they are at her mercy. And then I like this little devil up here. I think he's cute. Little devil. But yes, we have, broken heart. We have death. Different symbols for different types of life events.
What type of those two fishes are on the side?
You know what? The two fish in this card kind of remind me of the two fish in this card. We have two dolphins here. Right here above the little, lock or whatever. And then we have the two fish here. I am not going through, I don't have the Deviant Moon guidebook because he's taking forever to publish it, Patrick Valenza. But I have a feeling that whenever his book finally comes out and he's describing all of the aspects of these cards and what they mean to him, we're gonna find out what those fish are for. What them fish are for.
What the fish are for.
What the fish are for. So stay tuned. But for now, I don't know. They could be representative of just the constant flow of energy, maybe. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. We have Shadowscapes. Now, I normally just absolutely double, triple, dog, dare, love their cards. This is not my favorite. It is gorgeous. I'm not going to say it's not.
It looks kind of like one of those, what is it called? People who have four-leaf clover.
Leprechauns?
Those people with that red hair.
That's a leprechaun.
Looks like an Ireland, knot.
The Celtic
Yeah.
cross.
It looks like a Celtic knot.
That was painful. You know what this kind of reminds me of? It's kind of bringing me around again. Harry Potter. We were just watching that the other night, and I think it was the first one where the little pixies get out, or is that the second one?
No, I think it was the second one.
I think it's the second one. That's what I'm thinking of. So if you bring that aspect into it, I'm totally getting it. I get the feeling of that foolish quality. So let's go back. I'm going to retract my former statements, and we're going to go back to, I think it's pretty cool. Alchemy. This one, I'm going to warn you people, it's got some nudity. So if you're sensitive, forward ahead, please. Hit fast forward. We've got some, boobies. We've got boobs. This one, not my favorite at all. I do struggle with some of the cards in this deck. I either kind of love them or hate them, is kind of what I've kind of come to. This one I kind of hate. It's just, I don't know, man. Again, it's a cool picture. I'm not gonna lie, it's an awesome picture. Just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I like the dragon. I like the chick. I like the artwork. I like the colors. I like the balance. I like everything about it except the fact that if I was trying to do it, or if I was trying to use this as a Wheel of Fortune, that's a frustrating card for me. I just don't get the same sense of...
No, I don't get it.
No. Tarot of the Hidden Realm. She's the Fortune Fairy in this deck. They've changed the name a little bit. The only thing I do like about this card that I'm going to bring attention to is that you do sort of see that life cycle, because here you have the dandelions up top on her head. So this is what they look like when they are, blooming. And then here she's holding the actual... seed pod basically, and she's getting ready to blow it around, and we see the seeds up here floating around. So I get that. I do get the energy of, you never know where you're gonna land.
Yeah.
Life is like a dandelion seed. You never know where you're gonna land. Could land on the rocks, could land in the dirt, could land in the water. You never know. Where you land is kind of determines if you thrive or not. So, it is an interesting card. It's just, it's one of the few cards that doesn't have a wheel in it. But I think the fact that it doesn't have a wheel, I can work around it because of the way they did it. However, the tarot person in me wants my damn wheel. I want my wheel! And this one is not giving me the wheel.
I like that one.
Alright, tell me why you like it.
I like it because there's like the devil guy on the bottom, and he's
That's
dying.
Gollum.
Well, he's dying, and he's looking up at the other guy, kind of, and well, not really, but he's looking down. He's like, kind of, oh, great, now I'm about to die. And then the other guy's up there is like, yeah, I'm the one that helped. And I don't know what those little symbols on the outside of the circle mean, but they look kind of like a wheel to me.
Hobbit fans all over the world are cringing right now. I am not a big Hobbit or J.R.R. Tolkien person, but lordy mercy, honey. This is the script that is inside of the Precious.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Well, what does it say?
Something about power. I told you I'm not a J.R.R. Tolkien person, but at least I know where the text came from and what it is. Give me a break.
Well, you told me it was the Precious Tarot or whatever.
Well, but you know what? If you look at it in a certain way, the script on the inside of the Precious is kind of like the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, that's what sent them on their journey. That's what inspired the whole collection of Hobbit
Gollum,
stories.
remember Gollum was actually like a person, like the other guy was?
He was Smeagol, and look what it did to him. It turned him into that green little raw fish eating monster.
See, he looked like that, the old guy. Like the younger guy.
That's Bilbo, honey.
Well, it looked like him, and then he had the ring, and he turned evil, and now he's all ugly.
So you see the cycle. The cycle of the Precious. Good observation. Okay, you know what? Alright, I don't hate the card. I'm just not a huge fan.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Inner Realm Tarot. Hey guys, it's a shocker. Inner Realm Tarot didn't get last. Check it out. It's a spiral. Oh, I mean, it's okay. It's a spiral. It says luck, change, destiny, event, chance. You know, I can work with it. I don't hate it as much as I've hated some of them. I'm not as crazy about it as I was that Hermit card that rocked. But, you know, I don't just completely not like that one. Next, we have the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. And this one, again, you know, we have a fortune teller, which kind of reminds me of the Deviant Moon Tarot, where you have, you know, a woman kind of dictating the future. You have a woman here that's kind of sharing the future. Now, I like the card, again, for its artistic qualities. One of my daughters pointed out that it looks like there is actually a human figure here, like a ghost, which you see youth, you see age, and then you could argue that there is a sign of death here. So we do kind of see that cycle within the card itself. But you know, I like tarot, so I can't hate on the card for not having a wheel because she's got tarot cards. Forgiven, absolved, you're okay. Last card, Steampunk Gods of the Machine. Do you like it or not?
I don't know, I haven't had time to look at that card. Wouldn't the sun represent kind of like a wheel because it's a circle?
Yeah, it could. And if you look at it like that,
Kind of does.
I didn't think of that. I'm tired of you kids showing me up on my own freaking channel. I'm gonna quit inviting y'all. So the Wheel of Fortune.
I'll invite myself.
Whatever. I'll edit you out. See, like this. Bam! Like you're not even there. Bam. Bam. So I guess if you look at it that way, and you look at the sun as being the Wheel of Fortune, you know, the sun basically is what brings life and death to the planet.
Wouldn't the moon represent kind of like death, and then the guy represent youth?
Well, yeah, the guy could represent youth. The guy could represent being in the present, you know, because where he is where his reality is, and that is the present state. So
I just don't know what that little thing, that little pot represents.
This is a time machine. This, instead of being called the Wheel of Fortune, it's called Time Machine. So, you know, this
that makes sense now.
Yeah, so this is what brings him to the past and to the future. And so, you know, I mean, it does, yeah, okay, wow, well, good job. You know, I would hope that you would know where your time machine's going to land, though. You should be able to kind of dial that in. If you can't, I wouldn't be getting in it.
I'm reading a book right now called The Book of Time or something, and he's traveling with a time machine, and he put the little coin in on the sun.
That's right, and he never knows where he's going to land.
Yeah.
He always wakes up and he's being chased by people with weapons of different sorts from different eras. Very exciting stuff. Actually a cool book. We just went off on a very productive tangent and brought this card back around to where I get it, because I didn't get it before. So, you see, folks, you can learn from your kids. Just gotta let them get a word in, which I'm not very good at.
Oh,
yes, you're cute. Anyway, that's all we have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed watching us goof around and go through all of these cards. I have to say my favorite is probably going to be one of these old cards. I don't know. I really like the Paulina Tarot. I really like the Marseille Tarot. Honestly speaking, I know this is crazy, and I don't think this has been my favorite the whole time. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite version of the Wheel of Fortune.
It's my favorite.
And here's Goo's favorite. So we're going to leave you guys with that. These are our favorite cards. Actually, it should go like this because that's the side I'm on.
My card's bigger.
So?
Hey,
my card's older.
So? That makes you old.
Okay, I'm going to have to get off the air now and go have a little chit-chat with Goo. You guys have a great evening, and blessed be. Itching nose time. Get it over with now. Not ready. I'm scattered. What am I saying? Bagosh. I burped.
It's all your fault.